Hello everyone. In our earlier classes, we have been learning about ethics and human interface. Today we are going to continue with a very interesting and very important topic, that is values. Now, what are values? Values are simply the principles that guide our life. They help they help us know that what is right and what is wrong. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a ship in the sea. If a big storm comes, the ship may get carried away, but the anchor of the ship keeps it steady in one place. The values work in the same way for our life. When difficulties and temptations come, our values stop us from going in the wrong direction. For example, suppose in your classroom, everyone is copying during an exam. If you decide not to copy, even thought it's easy, that means honesty is your value and your anchor is strong. For another example, a businessman is doing his work and everyone else is bribing to get work done quickly. But he decides, no, I will follow the rules even if it takes more time. That is the strength of values. Okay. Now, the source of values. Now, let's ask, where do these values come from? They come from two places. One is inside us, that is from our own inner voice, which we call conscience. The other is outside, that is from our family, society, teachers, and culture. Okay, think about kindness. Many times, even without anyone teaching us, we feel like helping a person who has fallen down on the road. That comes from inside. On the other hand, in Indian culture, we are taught to respect elders. For example, touching the feet of elders, that is something society and family teach us. So both are important. Our inner voice and the environment around us together shape our values. Okay. Now, the types of values. There are mainly two types of values. The first one is intrinsic values, and these are good in themselves. Even if nobody sees you, they are still good. For example, honesty, truth, kindness, courage, and also the Gandhiji followed the truth even when the British punished him, because truth is valuable by itself. Or imagine helping a poor person even when no one is watching you. That is intrinsic value. And the second type is extrinsic value. These are not good in themselves, but they are useful as a tool. The best example is money. By itself, money is just a paper, but it helps you to buy a food, clothes, and the house. Another example is fame. Just being famous has no meaning unless use it for inspiring or leading others. So always remember, intrinsic means value by itself, and extrinsic means value has a means to something else. Okay. Now, values can also be divided in other ways. They can be positive or negative, like honesty versus dishonesty and kindness versus cruelty, and they can be permanent or temporary. In here, truth is permanent, but fashion is temporary. They can also be productive or unproductive, like hard work versus laziness. And values also connect with our mind. When we are thinking, we value truth. For example, a scientist working hard to find the right facts. When we are feeling, we value beauty. For example, when we enjoy music, art, or even a beautiful sunset. And when we act, we value goodness. For example, when we help someone in need. That's why people often say the three universal value of life are truth, beauty, and goodness. Okay. The next one is moral character. The moral character means the stable qualities of a person, the qualities people remember you for. For example, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is remembered for his honesty and simplicity, not just for being president. And also Mother Teresa is remembered for her kindness and compassion, not just for running an organization. So character is like a permanent mark that makes you different from others. Here, ethics also comes in two ways. That is, normative ethics tells us general rules like don't steal, don't lie, etc. And also applied ethics talks about the special situation, like should there be a death penalty or not, or should cloning be allowed or not. These difficulty questions are part of applied ethics. Okay, these things we already covered in the previous classes. Okay. Next, source of moral development. Now, where does our moral character come from? It is built slowly, step by step, from many sources. That is, parents are the first teachers. They tell us from childhood, like don't lie, don't share your toys, like that. Then teachers and leaders become role models. That is, a teacher who is always fair inspires fairness in students. But in friends also influences. If your friends study hard, you too will study. But if they smoke, you might also start, right? That, like, also media has a big role too, like the TV, movies, and social media celebrities create impression in our mind. So even society and institutions guide values, that is school, religion, and laws. tells us what is acceptable. And finally, situations in life also make us strong. For example, a soldier develops courage during war. So our moral character comes from family, teachers, friends, media, society, and also life experience. Okay. Now, morality versus ethics. Now, many people get confused between the morality and ethics, but it is simple. Morality is a personal. It is about what I feel is right or wrong. For example, I don't cheat because my own conscience says it is wrong, or I don't eat meat because my personal belief says it is wrong. On the other hand, ethics is social. It is about the rules made by society or a profession. For example, a doctor must keep the patient information secret. A judge must be impartial even if his friend is standing in court. So the difference is clear. Morality is personal choice. Ethics is a group rules. Okay. Now, value versus ethics versus morals. So let us quickly compare the three. That is, the values are what we consider important, like equality or justice. Moral are about our personal behavior, like not cheating, being honest. Ethics are the professional or social rules, like teachers should not discriminate among students and lawyers should not lie in court, like that. Okay. Now, rules versus laws. Rules are made for small groups. For example, in school, you must wear in uniform or you should not be late. And if you break the rules, only the teacher punishes you. But laws are made for everyone in the country. For example, paying taxes or wearing a helmet. If you break a law, police or court will punish you. In cricket, if you break a rule, the umpire will give you a penalty. But if you break a traffic law, you may get a fine, even go to jail also. So rules are limited, but laws are universal. Okay. Next one, value system. Finally, when we put all our values together, that becomes our value system. This value system works like a compass in life, showing us the direction. For example, one person may value honesty more than success. He will never cheat, even if he fails. Another person may value success more than honesty. He may cheat just to pass an exam. So the way you arrange and rank your values show who you really are. That is your value system. So friends, today we learned all about values. What are they, where they come from, different types, and how they shape our life and society. And that's it for today's class. In the next session, we will continue with the more interesting topics from Lexicon Ethics. If you found this session useful, do support me by liking, sharing, and subscribing. That will motivate me to bring more simple and clear lectures for you. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.